TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, Erev Tov, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Israel claims responsibility for a precision strike in Doha, Qatar, claiming the lives of the senior leadership of the Islamist Hamas. The United Kingdom rejects claims of genocide in the Gaza Strip. The International Atomic Energy Agency claims progress in talks with Iran on renewing inspections of its nuclear sites, among others. Israel has claimed responsibility for a precision strike in the Qatari capital Doha, which, according to a number of sources, targeted a gathering of the senior leadership of the Islamist Hamas. Nevertheless, in light of the fact that this is yet a developing story, TV7 will expand on this during our TV7 Israel broadcast tomorrow evening. Meanwhile, residents of Gaza are urgently required to depart from the city ahead of the IDF's high-intensity offensive against the Islamist Hamas, the Iranian proxy Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and their affiliated terror groups. In parallel to hundreds of thousands of leaflets and personal phone calls urging Gazan residents to depart to the southern part of the enclave, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, during a visit at the Israeli Air Force Command and Control, warned the residents of Gaza that the offensive operations are gradually intensifying.
My directive is to forcefully go after the nests of terrorism. We have already eliminated the nests of terrorism in 3 refugee camps. We simply evaluated the population from there and flattened all terrorist infrastructure, and my directive is to do this in additional terrorist nests. I am here at the Air Force Command Center. A few days ago, I promised you that we would bring down the terrorist high-rises in Gaza. This is exactly what we are doing. In the last 2 days, 50 such high-rises have fallen. The Air Force took them down. Now, all of this is only the introduction, only the beginning of the main intensive operation, the ground incursion of our forces that are now getting organized and gathering into Gaza City. Therefore, I am taking this opportunity to say to the residents of Gaza, listen to me carefully, you have been warned, get out of there.
It is worth noting, per the IDF assessment, Hamas will highly likely order roughly 10,000 of its terror operatives to flee Gaza City southward, embedded in a civilian population as part of the Islamist Hamas terror group's survival mechanism. Nevertheless, Hamas is evidently challenged to move hostages from Gaza City, forcing it to leave several hundreds of its terror operatives behind. Consequently, Hamas is actively trying to prevent Gazan civilians from fleeing the city, and the IDF believes that the closer the maneuver draws, the higher the Islamist Hamas will ramp up its physical efforts to block the evacuation of thousands of Gazan civilians, with chief focus on hospitalized patients in medical facilities under which Hamas maintains its operational commands. Meanwhile, in the Hungarian capital Budapest, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, during a joint press conference with his counterpart Peter Szijjártó, stressed that Israel was engaged in a war against radical Islamist terrorism and that European nations in particular, and the international community at large, must decide whose side they're on.
We are in a war with radical Islamist terrorism. Europe and the international community, every country must now make a clear choice. Are they on Israel's side or are they on the side of the jihadists?
Jerusalem's top diplomat continued by asserting that the war in Gaza could essentially end tomorrow.
The war in Gaza, my friend, can end tomorrow. President Trump said it clearly yesterday. Israel said yes to his proposal. We are ready to accept a full deal that would end the war based on the cabinet decision. Two things must happen. One, the return of our hostages. We still have 48 hostages kidnapped from their homes on October 7th being held in Gaza today. Second thing, Hamas must lay down its arms. The second condition is not only critical for Israel, it guarantees the future of Gaza and the Palestinians themselves, a different future, released from the oppressive and terrorist regime of Hamas. But there are European leaders that call on us to end the war now, practically unconditionally. Yet, at the same time, they support our position regarding the conditions to end the war, that Hamas must disarm and not play a role in the future of Gaza. And so I ask, how do these European leaders propose to resolve this contradiction? By politely asking Hamas to leave? I have not heard one practical suggestion from them.
Minister Sall further lashed out at French President Emmanuel Macron, whose own government collapsed in yet another non-confidence vote yesterday for his unabashed decision to force upon Israel Palestinian statehood.
There can be no reliable peace process without disconnecting from the actors of terror. The initiative led by France disconnects the issue of statehood, one of the final status issues, from peace. And that's a grave mistake. It's an attempt to unilaterally grant the Palestinians a state without a historical compromise, without them meeting and fulfilling the obligations they already made in the midterm agreements. By doing so, it harms the chances to achieve peace in the future. French initiative harms regional stability. It rewards Hamas for October 7th massacre, and Hamas said it openly. It serves as an incentive for Hamas to prolong the war. It will only destabilize the region. It will push us towards steps two.
Meanwhile, in the capital of England, London, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer hosted Palestinian Authority Chairman Mahmoud Abbas at 10 Downing Street ahead of the British government's voiced intentions to join France, Canada, Australia, and Belgium in recognizing a Palestinian state later this month. Meanwhile, ahead of a state visit by Israeli President Yitzhak Herzog that is scheduled for tomorrow, Britain's Foreign Secretary David Lammy sent a letter to the chair of the British Parliament's International Development Select Committee, in which he stressed that the UK government has not concluded that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. London's top diplomat wrote, quote, "As per the Genocide Convention, the crime of genocide only occurs where there is specific intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. The government has not concluded that Israel is acting with that intent." Moreover, Secretary Lammy further stressed that there was no proof of any of the F-35 British-made parts that are sold to Israel as part of the U.S. Lockheed Martin multinational aircraft program have directly led to a breach of international humanitarian law. Turning to Geneva, where the International Atomic Energy Agency is holding its periodic Board of Governors meeting, with the IAEA's Director General Rafael Grossi in his opening statement voicing hope amid reported progress in the agency's talks with the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Progress has been made. It is my sincere hope that within the next few days it will be possible to come to a successful conclusion of these discussions in order to facilitate the full resumption of our indispensable work with Iran.
The Ayatollah regime in Tehran is under immense pressure, with largely devastated nuclear infrastructure and an economic freefall, further ratcheting up concerns over the looming snapback of sanctions, which were triggered by France, Britain, and Germany on August 28th. The move by the three European powers, commonly referred to as the E3, initiated a 30-day process under UN Security Council Resolution 2231, after which all of the pre-2015 nuclear agreement resolutions that include a long list of crippling sanctions on Iran will automatically reimpose. Among others, Resolution 1929 includes a full arms embargo, restrictions on ballistic missile activities, and measures targeting Iran's financial and shipping sectors. Separately, Resolution 1696 effectively bars Iran from enriching uranium. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. As ever, please keep praying for the return of the 48 hostages who've now endured 704 days in brutal Hamas captivity in the Gaza Strip. Pray also for the Druze and Christians in southern Syria, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we will see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.